Hey guys, Dave Chesson here of Kindlepreneur.com, and in today we're going to dissect Amazon's rules for leaving book reviews. Now there's a lot of confusion about this. More importantly, a lot of authors believe that you're not allowed to be able to give a free copy of your book in exchange for a book review. But we're going to figure out exactly what that means and also why this confusion has actually come about in our industry. So stay tuned. As we authors know, book reviews are a very important part to being able to make sales. They not only convince people that they should buy our book, but that we're also pretty good authors too. Now, as you can tell, there are a lot of people out there that would totally like to scam the situation to make themselves have all the reviews and all favorable reviews so that they make more sales. So, this leaves us with one of the most important questions. Am I allowed to be able to give a free copy of my book in exchange for a review? And the answer, quite simply, is yes, but with some caveats. Now, for the rest of this video, I'm going to use Amazon's own words as well as their own information. I'm not going to glean off of anything else anybody else says. I'm going straight to their source documents. And you can find those links right below in the description or in the article that you're watching this video in. Okay, so the first thing that we need to address is why is there so much confusion about this? Why is it that there are a lot of authors that believe that you are not allowed to do this? And this can point back to one particular date, October 13th, 2016, when the Vice President of Amazon Customer Services, Mr. Chi Chu, yeah, that's his name, I didn't misspell it. And Mr. Chi Chu, if you were listening to this, I'm only saying that because there will be people in the comments probably talking about it. But Mr. Chi Chu put out a memorandum that stated, and I quote, "We updated the community guidelines to prohibit incentivized reviews. A review in exchange for a free or discounted product unless they are facilitated through the Amazon Find program." Now, as you can imagine, the rest of the community went, holy crikey, we can't do reviews anymore. This is terrible. And there were a lot of websites that picked up on this and wrote articles like this one, or this one, all claiming that we no longer can give a review or a copy of our book for a review. However, the people who wrote these articles did one of two things. They either A, read one of the other articles and then wrote an article, or B, they didn't finish reading the rest of Mr. Chi Chu's explanation. Because at the bottom of this memorandum, he states, "The above changes will apply to product categories other than books. We will continue to allow the age-old practice of providing advanced review copies of books." Okay, so I don't know if Mr. Chi Chu has that kind of voice or anything like that. Never spoke to him, but yeah. But as you can see though, Mr. Chi Chu has flat out said that part where it says you can't give a review copy is only for products other than books, and we can do it. Now, a lot of the authors out there are interpreting the last part where he specifically says advanced review copies, or also known as ARCs. And in their belief, they state you can only do this if it is an advanced review copy. Advanced review copies typically mean that before you publish your book, you send out a copy of your book so that people can read it in advance and then can leave a review upon publishing. But there's another source on Amazon that helps to explain what he meant by advanced review copy. If you go to Amazon's book review frequently asked questions section, you'll find that Amazon addressed exactly this. With the question, "Can I pay for someone to write a review for my book?" Amazon responds, "No. We don't allow any form of compensation for a customer review other than a free copy of the book provided up front. If you offer a free advance copy, it must be clear that you welcome all feedback, both positive and negative. If we detect that a customer was paid to write a review, we'll remove it." So as you can see in the first part, they specifically mean that you give a copy in advance of them leaving a review. Okay? This is very important because later on, the big question is what exactly is deemed as compensation? Amazon responds with, "Offering payment or any other incentive for a customer review is considered compensation
This includes giving someone money or a gift certificate to purchase your book. We consider incentives to be any type of reward that is given in return for a customer review, including but not limited to bonus content, entry to a contest or sweepstakes, discounts on future purchases, and other gifts.
So as you can see, words like compensation and in return all mean that to Amazon, it's not about giving the free book, it's when you give it. If you give someone a book so that they can then leave a review, that's different. You're not holding something over their head for that review. However, though, if you come at them and say, hey, get my book and leave a review, and then let me know that you left a review and I'll compensate you for that book. Or then I'll give you money in return so it covers the book. Amazon says no. The reason being, it's in both cases, you're giving them a free book. The difference, though, is that in the first case, you're giving it to them and you hold no leverage over them. They can leave any review they want. In the second case, though, you're basically saying, once I'm satisfied with what you've done, I'll leave you a review. So to sum it all up, Amazon has flat out told us that we are allowed to give a free copy of our book in advance for a review. You just cannot do anything afterwards so as in to incentivize their review and make sure that they leave a happier review in the process. So with that said, let's also look at a couple of nuances and little caveats in that statement so as to make sure we're always in compliance. Rule number 1, you cannot leave a review for your own book or a review for a competitor's book. So what exactly is a competitor's book? Well, that's up to Amazon. Number 2, but you can leave a review for other authors. You just cannot be a part of the process. You couldn't be a part of the foreword, the editing, the book cover, any of that. And not to mention rule number 1, which is you can't leave a review on a competitor. So make sure the author that you're reading is not your competitor. Number 3, you can't swap reviews. You can't have a author buddy and say, hey, sweet, I left your review. Would you mind leaving a review for me? That's kind of compensating. That's sort of holding leverage over them. You're saying to them, I did something for you, now it's time to do something for me. No go. Number 4, you can't have close friends or family leave a review. Now there's a lot of talk about what this exactly consists of, and I've got a video on why Amazon removed a legitimate review that you can find in the description below that explains that a little bit more. But just keep in mind that you really can't do that, and they do have some great ways of figuring out if you did. Number 5, you can actually pay for an editorial review. Things like Kirkus Review are a professional group that if you pay them enough money, they'll take the time to check out your book and write a review. You could also pay a blogger to write a review. However, though, the big thing is Kirkus Review or the blog or any of the others that you pay cannot leave an Amazon review. Instead, what you can do with that editorial review is you can take their words and put it inside of your editorial review section on your sales page. To be able to do that, access your Amazon Central account, go to the editorial reviews, and put it in there. And we have a video for that as well, showing you exactly how to do it. Now, one really cool part about the editorial review section is you can put anything in there. You can even use your mom's review, your best friends, or any other family members. Amazon flat out says this in the FAQ section. So if you're not using that section, I highly recommend you do. And if you don't have professional editors or good friends and family that are willing to do it, you can also take previous Amazon reviews and put it in there as well. So highly recommend you use that, and yes, you can use it. To highlight this one more step, let's go ahead and give an example. Now, just a couple of months ago, Andy Weir, the author of The Martian, just released his book, Artemis. Now, all over Facebook, he had an advertisement there that said, if you pre-purchase a copy of Artemis and you send me a copy of the receipt, I will send you a little nameplate with an autograph on it. Now, it's a pretty cool sci-fi nerd, I'm not gonna lie. I jumped on that in a heartbeat because that's really cool. But the question is that allowable? Now, like we discussed, that's actually okay because he's not asking for a review. He is saying he's gonna gift you something, but he's saying it if you buy the book, and that's all right. Now, here's the beautiful part of that marketing strategy that Andy Weir and his team are doing. Because people have now pre-purchased the book and then have emailed him a copy of the receipt, he now has a detailed list of emails from people who not only own the book, but are pretty happy about what they got from it. Amazon flat out states it is okay for Andy to then send out an email later stating, "Hey, did you like the book? It'd be really cool if you left a review." You see, the compensation that he gave was for the purchase of the book. Later on, he asked if anybody wanted to leave a review. Where it would be against Amazon's reviews is if he were to bring up the fact that he did that for them and was holding them to that, or he was only going to give the signature if they left a review. So there you have it. One example to show kind of the nuance between the Amazon review rules and ways that you can benefit as a proactive author in trying to get those reviews. So guys, understand you're okay to give a free book in exchange for a review, and that Amazon is okay with you being proactive in getting reviews. They just want to make sure that you're not trying to sway those reviews in order to get better grades. That's a no-no. With that, I'm Dave Chesson of Kindlepreneur.com, and please go ahead and leave a comment below in the video and let me know what you thought. Cheers.